Thanks for joining us. I'm Virginie Anne. We begin tonight in Nunatsiavut, where advocates are welcoming a major policy decision made by the Newfoundland and Labrador government. The province has officially declared gender-based violence an epidemic. The government says the goal is to shift the focus from reacting to violence to preventing it before it happens. Samuel Watt reports.
Ending gender-based violence is personal for Regolith's Charlotte Wolfrey. Her daughter was murdered in 1993. She says seeing the Newfoundland and Labrador government declare gender-based violence an epidemic fulfills a long-time call of hers.
You know, we've been fighting hard to try to get this heavy topic talked about out in the open.
Among the provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador had the third highest rate of intimate partner violence in 2024. Wolfrey is one of 12 people on a task force set up to guide the government's response. She believes there's still a stigma around talking about violence, both physical and mental, and she hopes to change that.
And not everybody wants to get involved in everybody's business. It's not seen as a community problem, you know. It's almost like it's still in your personal household.
She says she was in a violent relationship herself. She fortunately had the means to leave, but not everybody has that.
What we're actually talking about when we're using the word epidemic is that it's an issue that's vast and pervasive.
Stacey Hoff is also on the task force. The executive director of the Morkami Status of Women Council has long called for a multi-layered approach towards gender-based violence, housing, access to justice, supporting boys and men too. Hoff also says it's important the government hear from the people at the centre of gender-based violence.
And so it's really important that we move away from a colonial, patriarchal, prescriptive way of addressing gender-based violence.
So that the pain and trauma people have faced won't be in vain. Samuel Watt, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Meanwhile, in Nunavut, the territory's Department of Family Services says it needs more resources to meet growing demand. The department is asking the territorial government for an additional $140 million to expand services. The request comes as the department struggles with staffing shortages. Minister Gwen Healy Akiakuk spoke about it last week during budget discussions in the Legislative Assembly. She said more than half of the department's roughly 60 positions are currently vacant. If approved, part of the funding would go toward creating new positions focused entirely on suicide prevention.
We're providing services through the use of casual social workers to fill those gaps in services. We also work closely with our partners in the RCMP and other community-based partners, depending on which community has different resources, different organizations.
Akiakuk says the department is working with Nunavut Arctic College and other partners to recruit, train, and mentor new graduates. The goal is to create a direct pathway for students to move into careers with family services. Well, a surprise resignation at the Nunavut legislature today. Hudson Bay MLA Daniel Havik has stepped down, catching fellow MLAs off guard. Havik was first elected in 2021 and re-elected by acclamation last year. He resigned from cabinet nearly a year ago, saying at the time he had also considered leaving politics altogether. And now he's officially leaving the legislature.
Mr. Speaker, I have decided to care for my spirituality, my emotional traumas, and for my mental health situations. Without further ado, effective immediately today, I'm resigning as a member of the Legislative Assembly.
Havik says he does not regret his time in the legislature, nor his decision to resign. A territorial by-election to fill his seat must be held within 6 months. Well, a Whitehorse realtor has been suspended for 30 days following ethics violations investigated by the Yukon Real Estate Association. The disciplinary action is raising questions about accountability and professional standards in Yukon's real estate industry. TJ Deere reports.
Terrence Tate's suspension took effect a week ago today. That's according to the Yukon Real Estate Association, or YREA. The association has a program called Administrative Justice. It's designed to address commission disputes and conduct issues related to member practices. The YREA website says that includes things like violating their bylaws and rules, or any rules listed in the Realtor Code. The association says Tate's suspension is for 3 violations. They list improper use of a property access key, entering a property without permission, and unbecoming conduct. In an email to CBC News, YREA President Mark Perro says an independent panel of realtors handles complaints. He declined to comment further on this case. The Yukon RCMP did not confirm or deny if a criminal investigation is underway. When reached by CBC News, Tate declined to comment. The suspension is in effect until June 24th. TJ Deere, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Plans are moving ahead to restart operations at the Hope Bay gold mine in Nunavut. Supporters say the project could bring major economic benefits to the territory, including jobs and investment. Manur Mubarak reports on why industry leaders believe now is the right time to bring the mine back into production.
The Hope Bay gold mine is expected to create more than 1,000 direct jobs. The Kitikmeot Inuit Association, the regional Inuit organization in the area, says a key consideration for Nunavummiut is job opportunity.
When we think about, sovereignty, is the sovereignty of our people, and the health and well-being of our people is key and the most important piece to ensuring that, there's opportunity and that they are hiring Inuit to work there.
As of last year, the organization says 55 workers, about 7% of the mine's workforce, is Inuit. Another question, what is the economic benefit to Nunavut as a territory?
To generate over $250 million in annual taxes and royalties to federal, territorial governments and Inuit organizations.
The price of gold has more than doubled over the past 2 years. Agnico Eagle says it paid more than $430 million in taxes, royalties, and through Inuit Impact and Benefit Agreement commitments with the Kivalliq Inuit Association and NTI last year. A new Inuit Impact Benefit Agreement is in negotiation with the Kitikmeot Inuit Association. Hudson Lester is the acting executive director of the NWT and Nunavut Chamber of Mines. He says all of this activity bodes well for the territory.
It sends a strong signal that despite challenges of operating in the Arctic, major companies continue to see tremendous long-term potential in Nunavut's mineral sector.
He says Hope Bay could help bring hope into the mining industry. The mine could begin gold production by 2030. Manur Mubarak, CBC News, Iqaluit.
CBC News has obtained documents that show the Alberta government has considered 3 different pipeline routes through northern BC. Until now, the Alberta government has provided few details about its pipeline proposal, which has construction set to begin as early as next year. CBC's Kyle Bax has more.
The documents we obtained show 3 possible routes through northern BC. The first one begins in Fort McMurray in the heart of the oil sands in northern Alberta and travels west to a location on the north coast called Observatory Inlet. The other 2 routes begin in the Edmonton area. The first travels west and then slightly north before reaching Nasoga Gulf, where an export terminal would be built. The other option begins in Edmonton and moves west through the Rocky Mountains before splitting to reach both Kitimat and Prince Rupert. That route is nearly identical to Enbridge's former Northern Gateway proposal. Now, these port locations, 6 of them in total, are all located where oil tankers are currently prohibited on the North Coast because of the federal moratorium. Now, we showed these maps to some experts who pointed out how difficult this terrain will be, not only the mountains, but sensitive areas and major rivers too, home to salmon habitat.
The question will be, are you able to put in place appropriate mitigation strategies to preserve those rivers?
Another expert we spoke with said some of the northern routes seem to purposely avoid some of the communities that are known to object to major oil and gas projects, instead traveling through some communities that could be more supportive.
This is a strategic route for political reasons, not for economic reasons.
The documents focused on northern BC, but we do know the Alberta government is still considering a southern route as well, which would end up in the general Vancouver area. Now, the Alberta government wants to submit this proposal to the Federal Major Projects Office this month. That's when the exact route could be unveiled. But those I've spoken to in government and those involved in the consultation process say it's possible the Alberta government will not include a specific route. Instead, the submission may include a corridor, a general area, and then sometime in the future the government will actually pick the route and the port. I'm told that that's a possibility, just one of the aspects to watch for with this proposed pipeline to the West Coast. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
The Arctic comedy North of North had a big night at the Canadian Screen Awards last night. The series, which takes place in Nunavut, won 9 awards. There were plenty of famous faces at the ceremony, some from hit shows, and others who were there to offer a heartfelt tribute. The CBC's Griffin Yeager has the highlights.
It was heated rivalries night here at the Canadian Screen Awards, winning 16 trophies, the most the show could possibly win, and breaking a CSA record, capping off a huge year for the Canadian hockey love story turned worldwide hit.
Hudson Williams, heated rivalry.
The show star Hudson Williams took home Best Lead Performer in a Drama and shared some love for his cast, loved ones, and of course his fellow co-star.
So to the honorary Canadian Connor Story, I share this award with you. Thank you.
I caught up with him on the red carpet about the wild year he's had.
It grew into a seismic thing that I can't wrap my head around. I keep saying that, but it's true. It's I don't even know what it is at this point. It's just like, it's like this gay, beautiful juggernaut.
Anna Lamb from North of North.
Another hit, North of North, went in as the top nominee and left with 9, including Best Comedy Series and Best Lead Performer in a Comedy for Anna Lamb. And I spoke with her just after her win, and she shared this sweet message for her younger self.
And I would want young Anna to know that you get to this point, that you don't feel like you're not cut from the cloth. You feel like you deserve it, and that's pretty cool.
A comedy icon.
The show, hosted by Andrew Fung, had some other standout moments too. Eugene Levy surprised fans with a heartfelt tribute to the late Catherine O'Hara.
Her body of work alone has earned her legendary status in the entertainment industry, but it was who she was as a person that endeared her to millions.
You've entertained millions of people.
And Eddie Murphy, Cameron Diaz, and Will Arnett all paid tribute over video to Mike Myers, who was honored with the Academy Icon Award.
Ooh. I want to thank my mom and dad for moving to Canada. And for stressing the importance of being silly. Canada, I don't know what to say, dude. I'd literally be nothing without you.
It was a night of Canadian moments and a celebration of their global appeal. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Today is International Wild Salmon Day, a growing global movement calling attention to the urgent need to protect wild salmon populations before it's too late. And in the Yukon, the issue hits especially close to home. The territory's
I was one of the first to declare that
aren't going to be fishing for salmon, and it's been well over 25 years. And not only does the lack of protection of salmon affect people, it also affects the animals and the birds, and because that's what they rely on as well. So it's really important to ensure that we protect the salmon as best we can and do what we can to help them recover.
You're talking about your First Nation
Yes.
just then. What comes to mind when you think about salmon and growing up around that?
Well, in fact, I was just talking to somebody about this recently, and my First Nation is Teslin, and we used to go there in the summertime, and we were able to have king salmon. So, anytime I go to Teslin, then I do think about that, or on the Teslin River. We used to fish salmon, and we can't have that anymore. And we have to bring in salmon from Atlan. Thank goodness they have some salmon, but it's not the king salmon that we get. So it's what we used to have, and we miss that.
What's the impact that it's been having on First Nation, the decline of salmon?
The impact is immense. Like, not only do they not have it for food, they also cultural teachings around fish, how to cut the fish, how to preserve it, and to also help the salmon protect them and make sure that there's enough for everybody, including the animals.
With this day in honor of the salmon, what's the message that you want to send to people?
I think to be aware, do whatever you can to ensure that the salmon do have the protection they need in your community. If you're on city council, the band councils, the First Nation councils, and government, that those things are really important, and everybody needs to do something.
Have you seen any action taking over the last few years that is giving you hope?
Well, definitely the release of the fish fry always inspires me, because I see so many of them, and I see the children just so engaged. And to me, that's, they become aware of how important salmon is to the ecosystem, and that they're learning early that they have to be involved. Yes.
And on the opposite of that question is, what's missing? What's not being done right now that should be?
I guess more attention towards it, not just at this time, but throughout the year. There needs to be action there. There's pollution everywhere, and that affects our fish as well. And so if you see things like that happening, then it's important to bring it up and help the fish.
My last question is, when you look at the river, when you look at, you have a salmon in your hand, what comes to mind?
Well, memories of my mother. We used to fish with a fish net, and how important that was to us, and how appreciative we were, because in Teslin, even though they quit fishing for salmon, there really weren't that many going up. So, what we did get, we really appreciated. So, yeah, that's what comes to mind for me. And then I grew up along this river as well, so it's peaceful for me.
Well, as parts of the country are bracing for what could be another destructive wildfire season, there are concerns that Canada is losing trees faster than nature can grow them. In northern Manitoba, an Indigenous tree planting crew is trying to keep up. The CBC's Karen Pauls joined them.
Marley Moose has spent the last 3 summers in Manitoba's Interlake region, about 300 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg, planting trees in the traditional land of her First Nation.
Everywhere around me is burnt, but it's where life used to be. So we're back here giving life back to these dead areas.
An out-of-control wildfire ravaged the area in 2021.
Every tree that goes into the ground is like a gift back to Mother Earth.
Farron Sharp is working with a group of 7 Swampy Cree First Nations to help plant 20 million trees by 2030. But last fall, Ottawa canceled the 2 Billion Trees program, part of the federal government budget aimed at cutting spending and instead investing in defense and infrastructure. Existing contracts are expected to fill just half the original goal. This summer is expected to be one of the hottest on record. Forests are already burning, but despite efforts like this, we're not planting fast enough to replace them. Industry groups say we'd need more than 7 billion seedlings to replace just 15% of the forest destroyed by wildfires since 2023.
We started to see repetitive wildfires, so seed sources were lost, and people were starting to realize that some of these mega fires are preventing natural regeneration.
More than 100 tree planters live in this camp. Elder Andy Daniels is teaching them Indigenous traditions.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that you're planting something for regrowth.
He says the forest is more than the sum of its tree trunks.
It's supply us with our food, our shelter, our clothing. That's the importance of the survival of our people.
There's a lot at stake. Karen Pauls, CBC News near Devil's Lake, Manitoba.
Well, today's lovely weather in Whitehorse, Yukon was a reminder that summer is almost here in the north. And one popular Yukon campground is getting ready for a busy season a bit differently this year. Pine Lake Campground near Haines Junction has been getting so popular over the last few years, and now it's expanding to welcome more visitors. The project will add 14 drive-in sites, 5 walking sites, and a large group camping area. Yukon Parks Director Shannon Trott says the goal is to have campers enjoying the new sites as soon as possible.
This world is not easy right now, and I think it's our job to make sure that people have somewhere to go where they can unwind and enjoy and just, breathe.
Construction is expected to wrap up by August 1st. The campground and day use area will remain open to visitors while the work is underway. And that is Northbeat for tonight. I'm Virginie Anne. Thanks for watching. And for news anytime, head to cbc.ca/north. And we leave you tonight with some images of an icy Frobisher Bay in Nunavut. Have a good night. Be safe out there.